I figured out the easiest way to write a novel is to write the screenplay first. I'm going from one dead medium, the cinema, to an even more dead medium, book publishing. From script to manuscript. If you thought being a screenwriter was delusional, wait till you see how gullible I can be when it comes to being an author. I'm a late bloomer. Last to walk, last to read, last to get laid.
No, I'm not okay. I'm a virgin.
Leave it to me to go analog in the digital age. I mean, hey, it worked for vinyl records. Nothing's more cutting edge. I'm zagging while the rest of you creatives zig. At least, that's how I'm selling it to myself. If you're a fan of this channel, or just looking to make yourself feel better by comparison, you may have been wondering, where have I been? Did I finally sell a script? Did I finally scrape together the financing for my independent film? Well, duh, the answer to that question is in the title. My writing career is in limbo. After the sickness that shall not be named, I spent months trying to get agents, managers, my kid's old kindergarten teacher, anyone to read my pilot titled Risk Reward. I pitched it as Homeland meets Succession, or was it Succession meets Homeland? She's a bipolar neurotic. He's the crusty but benign father figure she's always wanted. It's Dirty Tricks meets Dirty Money in a dirty little story for adults. Risk Reward. Sunday nights on TBS. I mean CBS. Obviously I kid. I'd never sell a script to CBS. These were two shows I loved that I thought would be timely, but for a myriad of reasons or paranoid delusions, no one wanted to read it. No one. The pilot centered around a master of the universe's right-hand associate, Lauren Messier. I just realized I may have both dated myself and confused you. Master of the Universe is not a cartoon character, nor a Marvel villain, nor Bob Iger.
I got a sense that the board was making a decision to make a change at the CEO level at Disney.
It's a nickname for arbitrageurs back in the go-go 80s. Arbitrage is what we now call finance, venture capital, hedge funds, non-traditional investing. Wow, I can literally see your eyes glazing over. And that's what sucks. Finance runs this country, our economy, the world, and yet no one has made a movie or series about it.
The Big Short.
Remember this day.
The reason you can afford a TV, a house, a car with a TV that you drive to your other house is because you invest in funds that take risks with your money. And when those risks pan out, people get richer. And when they don't, they get poorer. At least they used to. After the great financial crisis of 2008, we decided that when risky actions succeed, investment banks, shadow banks, and other investing institutions get richer. And when they don't, we all get poorer because we, as taxpayers, have to bail them out. Technically, I know that most of the banks were forced to take the bailout to ensure there would be no panic. And I know these banks paid back the bailout with interest. So the government profited, but the bailout ensured no one was accountable. No one was at fault. So this bad behavior was incentivized. For my friends who wonder where these polarizing political times come from, this is a big part of it. Good night, folks. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. If this sounds bitter, I guess it is. I mean, I'm not red-pilled, I'm not black-pilled, but I am vinegar-pilled. I went into the illness that wasn't the flu, being bullish on finance. But after seeing the collusion, the revolving doors between financial institutions and the agencies that are supposed to regulate them, the way that Congress is paid off, and how our solution for every problem is more regulation and printing more money, well, let's just say my bullishness became a bit more shittish. Look, I'm still a big believer in this country and our economy and our know-how. I mean, I guess I'm still a libertarian, I just want there to be a true free market, not a kleptocracy, where if you get rich, hire a bunch of lobbyists who hire a bunch of congressmen to enact legislation that stifles new competition. I mean, is that too much to ask? After we discovered streaming wasn't a solution, I mean, we all know that now, right? And after the writers and actors went on strike, I decided that my plot needed a new direction. I mean, here's a little secret. I've always wanted to direct and edit and do motion graphics. Yeah, okay, look, hey, I have a messy mind, all right? I found that writing a novel allowed me direction that no other film director gets. I mean, unless you're Sergei Bondarchuk, having the backing of the Kremlin and have the blessing to release a 7-hour film version of Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace, and can get away with pages upon pages of voiceover.
To be unhappy, one must love or love to suffer or suffer from too much happiness. I hope you're getting this down.
Writing a novel allows me to unfold a plot and develop characters using their internal dialogue. It's an internalized production with almost no budget. One that allows the audience to completely personalize the sets, the costumes, the master shot, the close-up, and the montage.
That's when you need to put yourself to the test and show us a passage of time. We're gonna need a montage. Ooh, it takes a montage.
I used the pilot as the launching pad, but I knew the story would change because the motivations of the lead characters were changing in my head. Where in the script, Lauren's objective was the control of a hedge fund. After the past few years, a story about getting what you want seemed too simplistic, too Pollyanna, too Rocky II.
Yo, Adrian! I did it!
The story quickly became one about what happens when getting what you want comes at a cost you may not want to pay. What do you do when you discover you don't want the brass ring anymore? It's a story about regret and acceptance. I know, funny, huh? Using the script gave me a spine of sorts, or a launching pad. When I wrote the pilot in the second episode, I wrote it with a cliffhanger and a vague idea of where the first season's plot would end. Our girl would be triumphant. But turning this into a novel meant that the ending had to be more concrete. So while the first few chapters were basically an internalization of scenes from the pilot, these characters were now taking me on a different path because I was in a different place. Today's fiction market is almost exclusively female. Female characters for female readers. This is something of a chicken or the egg problem. I mean, did publishers abandon men because they were too busy gaming and tending to other distractions? Or did men turn to gaming and other distractions because the only fiction was chick-based? I mean, I remember years ago, decidedly masculine authors began writing female characters as the leads. Elmore Leonard, Chuck Palahniuk, Jackie Collins. So instead of the story focusing exclusively on Lauren, other co-leads stepped up. There was Bango, the personal security detail, Terry Ward, the master of the universe, and Barry O'Keefe, the suit. But dismissing the market as dictated by traditional corporate publishers has practically ensured my novel won't get read, much less published and marketed by a traditional publisher. This unknown creative is probably going to remain relatively unknown. You'll have the chance to read and know for yourself, oh, that's why he's unknown. In the next few videos, I plan to look at writing, rewriting, technical considerations. I mean, if that sounds like fun, hit the subscribe button. If it sounds painful, share this episode with someone you hate. And if you're on the fence, well, what the hell? You've made it this far. Hit the like button.